Welcome to Training Tuesdays. Today we're going to be talking about ranking on YouTube and getting your message out there in an even bigger way.
Welcome to Thriving Launch with Luis Congdon and Kamala Chambers, the show for heart-centered entrepreneurs who want it all.
5 days a week, we bring you different segments to inspire you to live a life of freedom. We interview the leading experts in the field of business, health, and love. Be sure to check out Training Tuesdays, where we give you a clear action plan to grow your own business.
How would you like to be able to interview world-class experts, sit down and have chats with people like Jack Canfield, Marianne Williamson, Robert Kiyosaki, Tim Ferriss, you name it? Would you love to interview other people that you really admire and consider to be your heroes? Well, we've created a course for you that teaches you how to podcast, how to set it all up, and how to get going so that you can really have a successful show and you can do it properly. Over at thrivinglaunch.com, we have a podcasting course, and it's there for you, waiting for you to snatch it up. So head on over to thrivinglaunch.com and let me teach you how to podcast the right way. All right, Thriving Launchers, we're here with Adam, and I am excited because YouTube is a powerhouse. It's something that if you know how to tap into it, it can literally explode your business. It can make a huge difference and make you well known, as I've experienced. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Adam. Are you ready to launch?
I am ready. I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, a total honor. It's been really cool to watch you and watch your progress, especially what you're doing in the basketball space with YouTube and how you're helping people in that area. But, I want to start by asking you first, why is YouTube so important?
YouTube's important because it's a visual search engine. It's a search engine that a lot of people don't realize that it's that powerful of a search. It's definitely where a lot of us go to find solutions to our problems. We love that visual, show me how to do it, instead of necessarily always reading or listening. There's this visual aspect that we can take advantage of. So it's a great place to find solutions. And, a lot of us being someone who helps people, that's what we do, is we give solutions. So it's a great place to be.
What would be the first tip that you'd give to start to build up your ranking on YouTube?
My first tip would be to concentrate on what your target audience is actually typing in to YouTube to find solutions for the problems that they're having. So a lot of times when we upload to YouTube, we kind of think what we would title our videos or what we would keyword our videos. And it's kind of like that expert phobia, so to speak, of we use terms that almost like we're trying to impress our peers versus putting terms in place that our target market would actually run into. A great example of this was about, give or take, about 10 years ago now, when I first started on YouTube. I put up a video called, let me see if I can remember. It was Penultimate Step for Plyometric Training. So if you're a 13-year-old basketball player and you
I'm
read
definitely
that,
I'm definitely not even looking that up.
Exactly, right?
I'd have to definitely be very nerdy to even know those words.
Right? But what would you look up if you're a basketball player? How to jump higher or how to dunk?
Yeah, how to have hops, how to jump.
Exactly. That's the
exact
same video. That's the exact same video. So we actually tested that. And I went from roughly about 2,000 to 3,000 views over a 3 to 4 year span to over 3 million views in a 1 year span by just changing the terminology. And given this is a different time frame and we had grown the channel some at this point.
That's pretty wild. It makes me think of people in the health industry. A lot of the people in the health industry, and Kamala used to work in that space. Kamala will say terms to me that are health related, and I'm like, I don't really know what that means. I just know my tummy hurts, and I'm going to look up like my stomach hurts online or stomach ache, and those are words that most people are going to be using online to describe things. They're not going to be really pedantic. They're not going to be super specific. Even that word, right? I just threw out a big word that a lot of people don't know. So we want to, one of the things we say in marketing is speak to Homer Simpson. I'm curious though. So once you kind of start geeking out and you know all the terms within your own field and you could talk to the experts about it, how do you dumb it down and figure out what like everyone else is actually using and looking for?
So a great way is to actually have people to ask. That always works out, whether it be a mailing list, social media, or even the comments on your YouTube videos asking, hey, what do you need help with? And then not only listening to them, but also getting terminology that they're using. The next thing, number two, would be, I call it the family feud method, of just putting your mind in that of the viewer, of your target market. The family feud method, and that's simply just answering the question. If you surveyed 100 of your target market, your ideal client, your ideal customers, what would they type into YouTube? Not just say, not just think, but what would they actually type into YouTube to find solutions for their problems that they're having? The next step is, once I have kind of those 4, 5, up to 10 different terms and different pain points, how my target market would type them into YouTube, I actually go to the YouTube search bar, start typing those terms in. So when you type into the YouTube search bar, it'll autocomplete, and based on a popularity, show you terms that are being put out there that YouTube's seeing interest in. And that's just a great way to verify that, hey, you're on the right track.
So do you use a keyword tool for any of these? Like, do you go into some kind of keyword tool and see how things are ranking on Google before?
Yeah, we used to use the AdWords planner keyword tool, but we at this point, we honestly don't. So at this point, all we're concentrating on is what our market tells us they want. We go to that the search bar at the top of YouTube, start searching for the terms that really show up. And then based on that, that's really what we go with our video headlines and what we really place the content of our videos about. Just because if one of our target markets, if they get in the realm of that search term, so I'm actually on YouTube right now. So if I just type in basketball training, and a lot of kids type something like that in, and then it gives them these autocomplete functions, they're just going to click one. So it's important for me to just make sure that, hey, I'm ranked pretty high for those terms when someone starts that and then chooses one of those choices.
So YouTube is a huge search engine. It's very important to be on. I've heard it's number 2 to Google. So almost everybody's going to Google and searching just within the general Google realm. But then YouTube tends to come up quite often as the number 1, 2, or 3 hit. And then within Google, you can just, click one over and you can see video, images, and shopping and all those different things. And so that makes YouTube very popular. And then there's the whole other thing where people are going directly into YouTube and they're searching, and YouTube itself is the second largest, most used search engine, which makes it very competitive. So the next question, really, we have a strategy, and I love your strategy of just going in and looking and seeing what are people typing in. When I type in one basic keyword, like the most important word, basketball training, basketball jumping, and seeing what YouTube does. Because when you said that, I thought, well, that's exactly how I use YouTube. I let it autocomplete for me. We use a search engine optimization tool, and we look up and we look for keywords. But now that you mentioned this idea, it's something that I'm interested in seeing what happens. But I wanted to ask you to kind of jump on this next piece is, how do you start ranking for videos, especially if you're brand new?
That's a great question. So how YouTube is really concentrating to give beginners a chance to rank, what the algorithm is really concentrating on is 2 main things. And that number 1 is watch time. So when it comes to watch time, in our minds, we think, hey, if we put out longer videos, it'll increase watch time. And it's just minutes watched total. And that's true. But the problem here is it's kind of twofold. Is if you put out longer videos, yes, you're probably going to increase watch time if you can keep the audience compelled, entertained, keep them wanting to watch. So that's number 1. You've got to be able to keep the audience able to watch. But the problem lies in having call to actions and actually moving the audience into the subscriber realm. Because most of the time we ask our viewers to subscribe at the end of the videos. But if it's a long video, you're looking at maybe 5 to 10% of your audience actually completing a 10, 15, 20-minute video. Yes, you're going to rank higher and get more viewership, but your subscriptions, which again is point number 2, that's the other thing that YouTube's really putting a lot of weight on, is not only how many subscribers are you getting, but how many subscribers are actually coming back and watching each time you upload. It's kind of like a mailing list and your open rate. If you have a low open rate, typically that's telling your ESP like, hey, something's just not right here. Your audience isn't interested in what you're doing today as they were when they first opted in. So we need to look at YouTube the exact same way. So the way that I combat that is I put subscription annotations in each 10% of the beginning of each video and then the final 10% of each video. So two things occur there. Number one, we have a subscription opportunity as soon as you opt in for those fast action takers. And number two, we have a call to action to subscribe at the end of the video. Even if they don't subscribe then, if you keyword correctly, which you will 9 times out of 10 if you have a bunch of videos, your next video is likely going to pop up next. So that's another reason why I like to have another subscribe annotation in that first 10% of each video. Because if they miss that second annotation, then they have the opportunity to opt in as soon as the next video begins to play on that autoplay.
Why don't you give us a little background? What's a subscription annotation, just so we're all on the same page here?
Sure. So what we found is right now, YouTube's offering a couple different things. Number one, they're offering annotations, which are those clickable billboards. We've seen them for years now. Kind of ugly. They kind of stick out like a sore thumb if they're colored a different color. And they have words on them that you can click those buttons and you can go to an associated website, which is a great way to get leads. You can ask for the subscription. You can send people to different videos. So we use those over the second option that YouTube offers, which is the end screen. So this is a new feature that YouTube's offering. Only about 20 seconds of the end of each video, you're allowed to have a YouTube end screen, do call to actions within that 20 seconds, and tell that audience where to click and what to do next. So this is a great thing to actually search on and learn how to do annotations, because if you're going to have a YouTube channel, you are going to want to have annotations in place, because this is how you can actually begin to funnel your viewers to take specific actions that will, number one, help you grow your business through lead generation, of course, but number two, help you grow your YouTube channel for organic growth so you reach more people. And that's the big win.
You know, you really bring up something interesting there too that a lot of people miss out on, and this is true across the board when it comes to people creating content for social media, creating content. I guess YouTube is actually considered another form of social media, but one of the things that a lot of people don't do is they'll miss out on the opportunity to give people a call to action. So they'll create a video ad or a video for YouTube or for Facebook or wherever it might be. They're creating content and they're sharing it, but they don't have a call to action that says, hey, subscribe, or hey, go here if you want to learn more. And that's one of the things that a lot of people are missing out on. And I see that a lot on YouTube, where people create fantastic videos, but they're not trying to drive the viewer off of YouTube and into some other kind of lead funnel, some other place, because someone could watch your video and think, man, I want to watch more. But if you let them just watch more on YouTube, then that's great. It's helpful for your YouTube channel. But if you can get them to get off of YouTube and over to your website to give you the email, that is really, in a lot of ways, the magic. Like, we want to rank so that people see us. We want to rank so that more people watch us, so that we build authority, so we get more views. But all of that is really aimed at, we want all of those results so that then more people will watch and ultimately get off of YouTube and onto our website. What is your specific method for that? Or do you have any tips around that? Because I know a lot of people, that's a breakthrough idea. Like, oh my gosh, I'm not even really trying to rank in YouTube so that I look cool for YouTube. I'm trying to rank for YouTube so that I can get people to my website.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's my business in a nutshell. We pull about 2,000 leads a day, give or take, from YouTube for free, because, well, these are people who are in the moment of searching for a solution. Then on top of that, they go to YouTube, they search for that solution, they find and click on your video, they watch your content, they like you. They learn from you. They see value in what you're doing. They're in the moment of the problem, pain, and they get your solution, and they're ready to move forward. This is a hot moment to take this viewer, this prospect, turn them into a lead, and even turn them into a customer rather quickly. So a call to action so what we do is we always do a call to action at the beginning of each video to subscribe, at the beginning of each video to get a free opportunity through our gift that's always congruent with the type of problem that they're having. Then at the end of each video, the last 45 seconds or so of each video, we do what I call a visual and a verbal. And what I mean by that is we verbally tell them exactly what to do, and we visually point on the screen at the button. It's awkward when you're shooting on camera when you're pointing in the air, but then you put an annotation there and show them exactly where they need to click. And just real quick, another tip when it comes to the call to action, when and if you use annotations, they do not work on mobile, which again, 55-60% of your traffic typically on YouTube is going to be on mobile device. You need to refer to the first link in the description. So you're going to add a link in your description and tell your viewer to, if you're on mobile, click the first link in the description. Now, this is key because this will convert more from our testing than any of the mobile compliant cards, YouTube cards, which is a YouTube annotation thing, YouTube end screens. They're both mobile compliant, but they don't convert as much as simply telling the mobile user to click the first link in the description. So again, we take our call to actions very seriously. That's where we put a lot of testing and a lot of time. You know, if you visit I Love Basketball, literally our call to action, I think, is the best I've personally come up with or seen. So, I mean, it's something definitely that would be valuable to swipe.
That's a really great tip. And just to reiterate what Adam said for you is have a call to action, something that is really relevant to whatever you've written. If it's a blog post, if it's a YouTube video, have something really relevant. And if you can, make that call to action so that they can go and grab something free. So if you're making a health video about your stomach ache, you can say, hey, you can head over to this website and we have the top 10 reasons why you're getting stomach aches and the top 5 solutions to solve those problems. You can head over there but be sure to use a call to action for people. That's a great tip. It's something that I consistently actually have to remind myself to do with almost everything that I do, because it doesn't come naturally to want to insert a call to action into things that I'm doing. Now, the next question that I had for you is about how often should we post? A lot of people say that content is king. I really believe that if you're doing content properly, but is there a sweet spot? I know that there's been a variety of theories around how often to post, and there's people like Elliot Holtz or I can't remember his name, Shaytard, who has a very popular channel on YouTube, and these are people who really espouse posting every day for like a year or two to really build up their ranking. What is your opinion, or what are your thoughts on how often we should post? Because as busy business people, we want to leverage the power of everything and find that happy medium. But if it's posting every day, then that's what we should do.
Sure. So I personally recommend someone starting out to aim at 3 videos a week minimum. But the best way that I explain it is, as long as you can stay consistent and not sacrifice quality of content, post as often as you can. Once we get to a point where you've got a subscriber base, you've got an audience, what we've found is by actually scaling back, making our videos longer. So we only do 1 video a week now, but we make it longer and we make it quality. Typically is it's fairly lengthy. Sometimes we do shorter. But long story short, we now pick which keywords we really are aiming for. We create videos specifically on that subject because our channel at this point has a lot of credibility and clout. So we simply just email our mailing list, which 95% came from YouTube, and then send that to our videos. That tells YouTube, hey, our subscribers, which again are on our mailing list, are coming back. They're watching the videos when we post, and that's helping us rank higher and increasing our watch time out of the gate. We've noticed the first 24 hours of video are extremely important. So sending a lot of traffic within that first 24 hours is going to be key with ranking. But again, to answer your question, if you're starting out, having more content is a better strategy than having less content that's at that higher quality. I think more is going to be key with getting a lot of content out there. And eventually you're going to have a video or two that just pops. Someone shares it, someone big sees it. That's where your growth is really going to begin to come in.
Is there anything else that you would say you absolutely need to do, or like a hidden gem that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I would say, just kind of a 3 I would say number one is create content that your audience is searching for. Number two, SEO it in a way that your audience can find it. And number three, YouTube's really hard if you don't have a passion for it. YouTube's going to be tough because the key to YouTube, it's like podcasting, that you've got to be consistent, right? You got to stay consistent. You got to continue to upload. You've got to continue to put in the work. And then over time, it is inevitably going to be something that's beneficial for you, inevitably. So that would be my three keys. We all hear it, but consistency, number one, is going to be the main thing with YouTube. Anyone who comes in for consulting with me, I say 6 months to a year. I don't want you to concentrate on anything but putting out great content. And, at that point, you're typically everyone that has worked with me in the past has seen great results because they concentrated on that.
I absolutely love how clear you made that. And I'm going to ask a completely selfish question, and maybe some of the thriving launchers can use this information. But, you're talking about quality versus getting that watch time and making sure that people are staying on for long periods of time. We upload our podcast episodes, which have nothing going on except the audio, basically. Do you think that's actually hurting us by having our podcast episodes on YouTube?
Yeah, if you're mixing that with so I love having every platform I use, I concentrate on extremely native content. So especially from YouTube. YouTube's my top tier from content creation. So I never repurpose to YouTube. I only repurpose away from YouTube, meaning I take YouTube clips that we've created, YouTube videos we've created, cut them up. I'll pull the audio for audible reasons, like, for example, podcasting. I'll take the visual images and create native content via Facebook and Instagram. So I actually take these YouTube videos, shorten them up, and then add text because obviously that's what Facebook and Instagram really like. So long story short, if you're mixing just audio with maybe some type of picture or screen grab with great content, great visual content on your YouTube channel, it will hurt the watch time. It kind of reminds me of, for example, PewDiePie, who everyone, or I assume a lot of people are familiar with, the biggest YouTube channel. His channel has kind of taken a hit. And the reason being is he started off, he built a massive subscriber base who were interested in video. So that's why they subscribed. And then all of a sudden the type of content changed to more blogging. And then now he's kind of seeing a negative result from it, or at least that's what I'm under the impression of. So again, what I would say is if you can add visual benefit to anything YouTube, people go there for video. I would definitely add any type of visuals, even if it's PowerPoint, even if it's different images. Something to keep the visual side of YouTube relevant. Even for
like 30-minute videos, like a PowerPoint, it would.
that would be tough.
Yeah. It seems like it would be a tough market, but I think that is a relevant question for some of our audience. So, yeah, and I think we're going to change our strategy a little bit. So don't go to Thriving Launch channel to see the podcast anymore. It's been so great having you on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. Hey, guys out there, Thriving Launchers, thank you so much for tuning in today. We look forward to having you tune into the show next week and every other day. Remember, Training Tuesdays is the days that we give you the jam-packed value and we dive in deep with people like Adam. Adam, thank you so much for joining us today on Thriving Launch.
Thank you so much, Osai. It was an absolute pleasure.
You've been listening to the Thriving Launch podcast. For books and resources related to today's episode, make sure to head over to thrivinglaunch.com. We'll see you there.
What is the most important thing in your life? It's probably your relationships. And if you're a parent, it's your relationship with your partner and that you have with your kids. Our next episode, we brought on Dr. Sean Stevenson to talk about raising confident kids and how to do so while also having an incredible and really healthy, courageous relationship with your partner. So tune in for that and more. And as always, if you've enjoyed the show, make sure to go over to iTunes or wherever you're listening to the show and subscribe so you get up to date on all the great shows that we have coming ahead for you.